Hey, Shalom Yahal Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barakathum to the brother, Shalom Yahal Shamar, Ba'ashim Yahushai, to the sisters. This is the ISUPK, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander John Yohana. You understand? And this is the ISUPK Las Vegas and Pahrump Tuesday Brotherhood class. Let's give the Lord a hand making these classes possible. You understand? Today is a continuation from last week's class, just like what the title says, the importance of the law. So you understand, we're going to get an understanding of the importance of the law. That is my objective for teaching tonight's class, so that y'all will understand the importance of the law, not only just in the Old Testament, but also in the New Testament. You understand? Now, and I have one question I got to ask for y'all, and I would like to get, have y'all participate on this question. Type it in if you're online. Raise your hand at the end of, my intro if you got the answer. But basically, what is the significance of the law what is the significance of the New Testament? When we talk about the New Testament, right, what is one thing what is like the great significance of the New Testament? Okay, and that's the first question I'm going to start off with y'all. So with that, while y'all are pondering on that, just ask that everybody does their part to make sure that they like and share the class. You understand? Do your part to get this word pushed out to the four corners of the earth. You should be doing that with anything that is ISUPK. You understand? Hey, Shalom, Lord of Christ, it's good to see you. You're always dependent on. At this point, I just expect you to be in my class. It says, no, Most High in Christ. It's good to see you, though. Just make sure, everybody make sure that they do their part to like and share the class. Do your part to get this truth pushed out to the four corners of the earth. You understand? And that's anything ISUPK, not just ISUPK Las Vegas, soon to be also ISUPK Pahrump. You understand? Not just Officer or Rock stuff. You understand? It's anything ISUPK. You understand? All of these classes are extremely important. All right. If y'all have any questions, be sure to type it in the chat if you are online, and I'll get your question, and I'll answer it to the best of my ability scripturally. If I am unable to answer it myself, lock it. Hey, dump that out, rinse it, and put some ice water in it for me, please. If I'm unable to answer it myself scripturally, I'll let you know, and I'll take that question to a mightier man than myself and get you your question answered. You understand? The biggest take that you should take from that is that, for one, we are not like the Christian church. And in fact, we have no affiliation to the Christian church. You understand? We're not like those Christian pastors in any shape or form, especially in the regards of how they will sit there and tell you, you should just pray about your question when they don't have the answer. You understand? I'll give you a little song and dance. You understand? Basically beat around the bush. You understand? We are not like that. We will let you know that we don't know it ourselves, but we will be able to get you the answer. You understand? So I've already done my due diligence. So if there's anybody that's online or in the classroom that's got the answer to my question, or think they have the answer to my question, let me hear it. Go ahead, True.
It's to show us how we should be keeping the law.
Okay, you are right about that. Hey, Shalom Yahal Shamar Lataba Shim Yahushai, sis, it's good to see you, Amanabai. You are right about that, but there's something else in particular that should stand out about, or that everybody should know about the New Testament. Amanabai, the question that I had asked was, I wanted y'all to tell me what is one of the major significant things to know about in pertaining to the New Testament, because today we're going to go over the importance of the law according to the New Testament, and of course also the Old Testament. All right. And so my question is what is something that everybody should know about the New Testament? Maybe I should just reword it like that, and that might help you out. The sister said, letting the people know that the law isn't done away with, but he will fulfill them. You are right Maybe my question's a little bit vague. How about this? Because this, I don't want to say that because I feel like it's a dead giveaway there. Man, screw it, because I know the trooper probably has some questions. Lord allow some of y'all on the chat got questions as well. I'll give y'all a hint just for time's sake. What is the significance of the New Testament today and compare, for today? Okay, Amanabad, you like really on in the ballpark now with where I want the answer to go. You understand? With what I want to okay, yeah, no sir. Where I want to go with it. Like you in the ballpark with it right now. And the sister said the New Testament is telling you about the old and they go hand in hand. All right. So now, I gave y'all that one little hint. I don't even want to repeat it. I need to make sure that y'all paying attention in my class, right? We need maximum participation. Plus now I know if I repeat it, then y'all for sure gonna get it. And I want y'all to be able to think. The New Testament is relevant today. Okay. Yes, like you right there. You are right there. The New Testament is relevant for today. You're right. But I need more. Right. And this is how we're going to start the class that Lord allow we are. The trooper saying that he basically going to take over my class today with questions, the Most High in Christ. But no, what was, will be. Okay. No, that's not quite it. I want y'all to think about what the title of the class is, and then of course, what my question is. Then your clues is what Amanabat has been saying so far, because she's right in the doggone ballpark. Like she's right there, spitting distance from hitting home plate. You think you got it, Trooper? You think you got it?
No.
No? I'm gonna give Amana about a few more moments to see if she wants to take another stab at it. So I know there's a little bit of a delay. And she's like right there, man. If there's nothing new under the sun. No. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all the answer for time's sake, right? We still living in the New Testament. The New Testament is today. Not only is it relevant today, but we are still living in the New Testament. That hasn't been sealed. You understand? The New Testament hasn't been done and over with. You understand? That's why, like, what you got to really look at and think about, right, is that at the time of the New Testament being written, when those brothers was walking the earth, you understand, they was reading the Old Testament, all right, and then going through all of those experiences. You understand? And then, of course, writing all that down, and that's what composed the New Testament. You understand? Those things written aforetime are there for our learning. That's pertaining to, the Old Testament, but now it's also pertaining into the, the time of yesterday within the New Testament. Does that make sense to y'all?
Okay.
You understand? Exactly. Says Yahweh, we've been living in the last days where time is where the end is nearer than we may think, right? So that's how I want to start it off. Right. Before we get into my actual topic, though, I want to open up the floor. If there's anybody online that has any questions at any given time, whether it's on or off topic, on or off topic, feel free to type it into the chat. Trooper, you said that you had some questions.
Go
ahead.
My first question is going to be in the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 1.
Leviticus 15:1. That's not food, is it? My fat ass love food, man. All right, go ahead and read it.
It says Leviticus chapter 15, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue, he is unclean.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is this talking about sickness?
Okay. So how would you determine what a sickness is, though? Just based off of somebody coming out, something that is coming out of a man's body.
Like, you know how you have like a running nose or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like allergies or just you sick, like, probably sick enough to go to the hospital type stuff.
Okay. So it's basically talking about anything that, anything that's coming out of your body. So you can think of it, one way is sex, what comes out of a man's body during sex. You understand? And that's actually what makes the woman unclean, believe it or not. You understand? Is you make her unclean when you finish. You understand? She then becomes, when you spill your seed, that sister becomes unclean, and so do you. You understand? That's an issue. You understand? That also does include, any other bodily fluids that should be inside your body that were to flow out. So like, blood, you understand? Or like you said, the mucus membranes coming out of your nose, out of your eyes, ears, you understand? Out of any of your orifices. You understand that essentially could be potentially contagious. Because remember, what can be what's the word I want to use? What can be contracted from a man's seed?
A child?
Not conceived, contracted.
What does contracted mean?
So, like, I contracted maybe I'm not using the right word. I think it is. What can be transferred within a man's seed? How about we say that?
What can be transferred?
From a man spilling his seed, what can be transmitted? I ain't gonna front. This has always been one of my biggest doggone fears.
HIV?
Well, I mean, not HIV in particular, but an STD. You know what I'm saying? An STD, sexually transmitted disease. A disease. You understand? Diseases live inside of our fluids. So if it's a fluid that either you force to be extracted from your body, or it's just oozing because you might have what are they called? Them not an ulcer. What the hell are they called? Like pus will come out of them and stuff like that. Boils. You know what I'm saying? You might have something that's causing that has boils, that's causing pus to come out. That pus is contagious. You understand? That would be considered an issue. You understand? And that's going to make you unclean. Because go ahead and read that. Read 2 from the top.
Come. This is Leviticus chapter 15, verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when any man hath a running issue out of his flesh.
So remember, a running issue. So it's not like, we're not talking about like just the little sniffles, you know what I'm saying, of snot. But when, like the difference between having the sniffles and a legit like sickness runny nose. You know what I'm saying? Like the difference between having like a runny nose from a cold, runny nose, and a runny nose from, having allergies. There's a huge difference between the two of them, right? Where, the allergies, like 1 minute, you got a little snot. Okay, and you good, and then all of a sudden your nose is all dried up, and then an hour later you got a little bit of a droplet again. You know what I'm saying? Like that terrible, horrible, goddamn rinse and repeat cycle. But when you got the cold, it's it's green. It's your body is giving you signs that there's we're warring inside of the body. We have what's the word?
A running issue.
We have a running issue. You understand? Go ahead and read on.
Come. When any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue, he is unclean.
So that's what makes you unclean. Something that would be basically what this is talking about is the COVID-19 parameters before COVID-19. This is the Spanish flu of 1919 before the Spanish flu of 1919. This is quarantine before white people even knew that you're not supposed to sleep with animals in your house. You understand? This is the Bible is the original playbook of, okay, hey, if you're sick, this is what you're going to do. You're going to stay the hell away from us. We're going to create a quarantine, because right now it's saying that you're unclean. We know that if we're unclean, we're not to do what?
Come around the congregation.
Exactly. We're not supposed to come around, the brothers and the sisters, especially in the time of the Lord's name, for the Lord's name. You understand? Like, take, for example, Passover. What, you're going to get everybody at Passover sick because you have an issue? No, you do the right thing and you keep this holy. You keep it clean. You understand? Go ahead and read on.
Come. Verse 3. And this shall be his uncleanness and his issue.
Right? Okay, so his uncleanness in his issue. So whatever that issue is, you understand, there's going to be different quarantine procedures based off of what it is. You might have a cold. You might have a full-blown flu. You might have, whatever other type of breakout, ailment, sickness. You understand? There's different procedures on how you need to get yourself to recover. You get what I'm saying? And of course, hold on. Does it actually mentions it here? This will be. Yeah. Go ahead and read on.
Come. Whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanness.
So it's his uncleanness. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Mm-hmm. Every bed wherein he lieth that had the issue is unclean, and everything wherein he sitteth shall be unclean.
So we're still we're talking about these diseases, but what also can be included, because I think we should all understand the picture, right? That when you spill your seed, when you got down, when you get sick and you got that runny nose, or you're running pustules, whatever the hell is going on with you, you understand? Not just are you unclean, but everything that you're touching is unclean. Sisters aren't the only ones who have a time period of uncleanliness. You understand? Because everybody has everybody gets sick. And so when you're sick, you become unclean. You understand? But what's also important, because I'm trying to see if that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean and clothes. I'm trying to see where it actually mentions him spilling his seed. It doesn't say him actually spilling his seed, but it is a part of what makes us unclean. You understand? And like the procedure for that is until sunset, and then you also have to take a shower, make yourself clean again. You're unclean, but it's all about so that we don't transfer diseases. You get what I'm saying? Because of course, like if you like they have like a lot of people are kind of ignorant to the knowledge of like a lot of STDs where like there's some STDs that go through the pores of a condom. So in other words, there's no real barrier. You understand that'll keep you from actually transmitting that disease to that person. You understand? Like, what is it? The super gonorrhea and super herpes or whatever, it's not called super herpes, but it's a strand of herpes, and the super gonorrhea, they go through the pores of the condoms, and you know what I'm saying? You can still get that disease. So you got to think, if it's able to go through these condoms and still infect people, well, what if it's still on my clothes? You get what I mean? You did your business, you did the deed, and then you might have some on your clothes or whatever you didn't know or whatever, and then you go to embrace somebody, now it's on their clothes, and these diseases, they live on surfaces for a time period. Well, now you're potentially spreading that STD without them even laying with you. You get what I'm saying? Like that's why we have these procedures on how to deal with not spreading these diseases. Where if you read on verse 6, or no, it's like it says even in verse 5 that if you touch, we're not going to read it, but just to go through it really quick, it talks about if he's on his bed is unclean, those sheets got to be goddamn washed, his clothes have to be washed so that everything stays clean. And then of course that allows for whomever is sick to actually properly heal, because now they're not sitting in a disease infested environment. You get what I mean? So does that I answer your question? I know I went a little long winded with it, but
I answer my question.
All right, you got any more questions?
Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 39 and 40.
Oh, it sounds like you want to go back to the Old Testament with me, huh? Oh, okay. So you said 25 and what?
25 and verse 39 and 40.
39 and 40. Okay. All right, go ahead and read it when you got it.
It's the book of Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 39.
Uh-huh.
And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant, but as a hired servant and as a sojourner. He shall be with thee and shall serve thee until the year of Jubilee.
Okay.
So my question is, what is the year of Jubilee?
So the Jubilee is, if I remember correctly, it's either every 15 or it's every 50 years. Do you have the Bible dictionary with you?
Yes, in my library.
If you don't mind, go get it real quick. We'll wait for you. And then, of course, if there's anybody else online that has any questions, we can go ahead and get that. And in fact, this actually kind of works out. I'll go ahead and knock out my first scripture of the breakdown while he steps away to go get that, just so that way we're not just sitting here, right? So we'll go to the book of Malachi, chapter 2 and verse 6, right? I can grab these doggone. Look. There it is. All right. So this is the book of Malachi, chapter 2 and verse 6. The law of truth was in his mouth, and inequity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from inequity. All right. So this is talking about a priest and prophet of the Lord. You understand? And this priest and prophet of the Lord, you understand? It says the law of truth was in his mouth. You understand? So in other words, he spoke what the truth was. He spoke the truth. You understand? This man was blameless and not a liar. You understand? He did not, bear false witness. You understand? And inequity was not found in his lips. So again, he was not lying. You understand? He spoke the truth. He spoke the true words of God. This is a quality of a priest and prophet in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. You understand? Which cannot be found anywhere else. You understand? He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from inequity. You understand? So this priest and prophet, he he walked with me in peace and equity. He walked with the Lord. You understand? And basically, and it says in equity. So like they were not necessarily, in an equal manner, meaning he walked in righteousness. You understand? And part of him walking in righteousness and in peace, you understand? He did turn many away from inequity. So in other words, he was a light to other people to be able to turn their lives. You understand? Turn their lives around. You understand? And start doing the right thing. You understand? This is the quality of the priest and prophet of the Lord. You understand? Which actually, kind of goes hand in hand with these questions that this trooper is asking. Asking about the about questions in the book of Leviticus, right? Did you find Jubilee?
Cool.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay. It says Jubilee, according to Leviticus 25th, every 50th year in Israel was to be announced as a Jubilee year.
So every 50 years, so the way that works is, all right, so let's say, okay, so it's 2024. So let's say we're in the 24th year of the Jubilee, right? So there's 26 years left until the Jubilee. And, I were to go to you to be taken as a servant, right? So what was that again? Leviticus
25, verse 39 and 40.
25. Let me get back there. Salakia. Verse 40. Okay. So that I could be taken as a hired servant, right? So it's not saying that you take me for a full 50 years. You understand? It's every 50 years, everybody's going to get forgiven of their debt, no matter where you are, whether it's on the very first of like the very beginning of the Jubilee cycle, or it could even be, on the 49th year, I got into debt with somebody, whether, you took me as a hired servant or I was just in some sort of debt with somebody that I'm not able to pay, right? On that 50th year of the Jubilee, I'm forgiven. Or, in other words, you let me go from being a hired servant. My payment would be expunged and extinguished. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay, but now, mind you, if you read on, because there's also those occurrences where some of the brothers are like, man, or brothers and or sisters will say, man, let me just stay here. And I think, what is that, like verse 42, verse 41. Wait, what is it, 41? Oh no, I think it's further down. Yeah. So when you get into like verse 44, oh no, that's talking about the heathens. Where does it say? But basically, the Jubilee is like how here in America, every 7 years, if you got something on your credit report, it'll get wiped off, and then it takes time for your credit to get to basically even out again, right? But you're still gonna have shitty credit. They're still not gonna friggin' accept you for anything. You know what I'm saying? Because mind you as well, they're applying usury, and you know what I'm saying? Like, they make it difficult for you to goddamn live. In Israel, you get a legitimate time period for not only you to get your money back, but also for me to put the money together so that I can, you know what I'm saying? I can actually pay you back. And then, you know what I'm saying? But like after that 50 years is up, I'm unable to do that because, of course, it's unlawful for you to put usury on me, right? So at the end of those 50 years, if I'm unable to pay that back, then it's extinguished. Really does a great breakdown of what the Jubilee is. Okay, but that the Jubilee book, even though that in certain books of the Bible, it does mention the Jubilee book that you're referencing isn't actually an authorized book. You understand? It's there's man, I remember General Hyman actually going over that because I actually inquired about that myself with the Jubilee book. But because it does that again also in, I think it was in the book of Joshua, where it refers, I can't remember what book it refers to. Which one was it? Was it Jasher? I think it refers to Jasher. Let me see. Hold on. Oops. Yeah, it's Jasher. And of course, Enoch as well gets mentioned in other books. Just because a book gets mentioned doesn't mean that when I gotta go find that book of Enoch and like that's actually the legit one, because the book of Enoch actually references fallen angels actually having sex with people, and then they're white and whatnot. So, which is a contradiction to the entire rest of the Bible. But so did I answer your question? Like, do you understand?
I understand.
But did I answer your question though?
You answered my question, Carl.
Okay, right. We understand, but do we not write books as regular people? Does not mean it's scripture, but there is edification. Okay, so then are you gonna go get a history book from Florida and mark that historical book that talks about how the Atlantic slave trade was actually good for Black people, and then not only that, but how we volunteered ourselves to be put onto those ships, and the white man was, time and time again trying to release us, but we kept saying that we wanted to be his slave. Now, mind you, that was put in the book. So are you going to use that as edification? My point with bringing that up is that when you're using these books to go side by side with the Bible, you have to make sure that the book never contradicts, because the Bible doesn't contradict itself. You understand? Like, that's why you can take certain like history books and, it'll have some really good information. Like take, for example, from Egypt to Timbuktu, right? That's a really good book that, it talks about how, the Black Jews fled from Rome and hid into Africa. It gives you the whole path of where, we were fleeing from them. So, to avoid persecution. But just because there's that one good piece of information, does that validate everything else that's written in that book? Not entirely, not necessarily. We have plenty of books that we authorize to be read in the ISUPK. You can go to ISUPK.com and, there's a book, a book recommendation tab that'll let you know, like, okay, these books that you should read, but you still want to be mindful of what you're actually reading from it. You understand that not all of that from cover to cover, that book that you picked up is not to be taken word for word like the Bible is. You understand? I agree. But you're the one who's trying to bring in the book of Jubilee, and I'm trying to make a point that the book of Jubilee is not a legitimately authorized book when pertaining to the Bible. That's my point. You understand? But all right, moving on. So, like, Trooper, did you have any more questions?
Come.
All right, go ahead.
Deuteronomy 23 and verse 7.
Deuteronomy 23. 23 and 7, correct?
Come.
All right. All right, go ahead.
It says, Deuteronomy 23 and verse 7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land.
Okay.
I looked up the word abhor because I didn't know what it meant, and basically I got like loath. So I looked up loath, and it says to reject, despise, or refuse. I'm trying to figure out like because I know this could be used. Like, say you're trying to edify somebody about Esau or whatever, and they bring this up. Like, how I just want a breakdown of what this is talking about.
So you want to say that one more time? You want to break down what?
A breakdown of what this is talking about.
Okay. So first, what I want. So you said that you looked up those words, right? Where did you look them up at? When you looked up abhor, where did you look that up on Google?
The Blue Letter Bible.
On the Blue Letter. Okay. You have the Zondervans, right, with you?
Come.
Okay. Use the Zondervans and look up the word abhor.
The dictionary.
Of course, right? The Blue Letter. Say again.
The dictionary, right?
The Zondervan's Bible Dictionary, yeah. I gotta get mine back from the school and bring it here.
Washington.
Okay, I want to see it for myself as well while you're looking that up on the Blue Letter, and then. What is this? Deuteronomy. 20 trades. Okay, yeah. So there's also that. Those definitions are really important for you to understand. Not just loathe. Okay. And then let's see here. Were you able to find it?
No.
Okay. All right. So here, just for the sake of time, okay. So I pulled it up on Blue Letter. So what you got to also remember when you're looking up definitions to understand a word, you have to, and it has numerous definitions. You have to remember to, basically take the definition and then insert it to see if it makes sense according to the context. You understand? So although loathe is correct, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just, giving you a tip on that. But if the first one, it says to abhor, be abominable, and do abominably. You understand? Do you know what it means to be abominable or do abominably?
Abominable means like disgusting or like wicked, right?
Yeah, just straight disgust. You understand? And always think of it like this. All right, because the Lord told us not to abhor the Edomite. All right. Now, when we go out on those street corners and we talk about how Esau is the devil, that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, you understand? And we we're on the street corners and charging them for their crimes, you understand? And telling them what the Bible says is going to be done to them, and what we're going to do to them according to the Bible when Yahushua returns. Are we doing anything that shows that we find them disgusting?
Wow.
No. But now compare that to, those great, good old Christians who will take a big ass, 30-foot cross and put it in your grandmother's front yard and light that son of a bitch on fire and then line up in formation with their pillowcases and white robes in your grandmother's front yard so that they can drag her and her husband out of their bed and potentially hang them. Would you say that they were treating your grandparents with, they were abhorring your grandparents?
God.
Because I mean, that's only something that you would do to somebody that you found disgusting.
Right.
To invade on their privacy, invade on their sleeping space, invade on their property, and just think that it's okay for you to take it upon yourself to burn a great, beautiful Christian cross, rip this man and woman out of their bed to put a rope around their neck and put them in a tree. And I didn't mean to say like yours in particular, but you get what I'm saying though? To understand what it means, what abhor means. I want you to actually feel and understand what that word abhor is. It's when you're dealing with somebody with extreme hatred. Because what does the Most High say about the LGBTQ, the alphabet people? What does he say about them?
He said that they're abominable.
They're an abomination, right? And that's what this definition right here with abhor says. Now this is how you connect everything together, right? Is what did the Most High said he's going to do to the rainbow people? Or I can't call them rainbow people. The rainbow thieves.
What he said he was going to do to them?
Correct.
He said that their own blood will be on their own hands.
So, but in other words, what is to be done to alternative lifestyle people? The Most High made it so that what would be done to those people that he finds abominable?
To die?
Huh?
To be unalived?
Exactly. He's going to kill them. Those that you abhor, you kill. In a nutshell, in a great nutshell, in a simple nutshell. You understand? Because when Esau abhors Israel, what does he do? He kills us. He said that since Genesis 25. That, once we took that birthright, he said it in his own spirit that he was going to kill his brother. And he's been doing it since. You understand? Now, we were told not to kill our own brother. When we were finally put in a position to have freedom to, the Most High is leading us into our own land so that we can be our own nation. You understand? Under Moses, one of the first things that the Most High let us know was like, hey, listen, do not go. Basically, he's letting you know, do not go seek vengeance on these Egyptians. You understand? Do not. And for this reason, what did he say? Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian because thou was a stranger in his land. You understand? You're a stranger in his land. Like this is it. It's kind of that's what you do. You understand? And don't hold that against them. Because what does that also wrap back around to? Vengeance is mine. Vengeance is not for you. You understand? But it also says, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. You understand? So we're not supposed to go out of our way to try and kill Esau. You understand? Because at the end of the day, he is the brother of Jacob. He is the brother of Israel. We don't take him in that regard. We don't deal with him in that sense. But we still remember that. Can you tell me why we remember that? What is the importance of us remembering that Esau was our brother to Jacob?
Importance. I don't know.
Hey, Christ lives with truth, man. Listen, if you got issues with that, like this is the right place that you need to be at. All right. If you need to, man, I can give you my contact information. You just let me know in the chat and I can set you up so that you can get counseling, You can get counsel within the school. You can surround yourself with brothers. You understand? Like that's what these classes are all about in the first place. It's for us to be able to fish out our brothers, our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and indigenous peoples. You understand? So that they can learn who they are. You understand? But also so that they become the men that they are supposed to be, or the sisters that they're supposed to be according to the Lord. You understand? And not according to society. You understand? So like you go ahead.
Yeah, I said I didn't know.
Oh shit, my bad, Nick. I forgot what I even asked you. Can you remind me what I said? What I asked you? I got distracted with this comment.
What was the importance of remembering that Esau was our brother?
Oh, my bad. Okay, right. So just for time's sake, I'm not going to ask the class, but the importance of us remembering that Esau was our brother is the fact that when everything is all said and done, we can always say that, hey, I remember that you were my brother and I never sought you out to spill your blood. I never hated you. I never abhorred you for the, all of the crimes and atrocities that you committed against me, since the time that we came out of our mother's womb. But you, on the other hand, have sworn it in your heart with your spirit to do just that to me. You understand? Go ahead, Salaki, pull for me the book of Obadiah chapter 1 and go down to verse 9. Obadiah 1 and 9.
It's the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse number 9. And thy mighty men, O T-man, shall be dismayed to the end, and that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
Do you understand? So in the end, they're going to be cut off by slaughter. So like, hold on, let me get there with you. I should have done that in the first place. My fault. I ain't gonna front. I have no issues repent and live. It is easy to look at your brother than not look at yourselves. The only way that you can look at your brother and not look at yourself, that's like the only way that you can look at your brother and not see yourself and not look at ourselves is if you are unable to forgive yourself, if you are unable to love yourself. That's it. And quite frankly, only in the ISUPK can you truly actually learn to love your brother and actually be able to look at your brother and love them the way that you're supposed to. Like how Yahushua had told us to. God damn it. I know I'm tripping. I cannot. But all right, I'm just going to say this though. All right. These classes, this is my class. I do appreciate your feedback, but you understand. I got the class, man. I don't need you to recommend any books to me or anything like that, or to any of my students in my class. You understand? You come in my class, you sit down, you participate as much as you like, but you understand. We don't need any of your your input on what books that need to be read and whatnot. All right. So like, go ahead and read that again. Obadiah 1 and 9.
Khan, it's the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse number 9. And thy mighty men, O T-man, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
So now remember, the Most High is, it's being prophesied that we are to cut them all off by slaughter. You understand? Read on.
Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
Against who?
Thy brother Jacob.
So violence against thy brother Jacob. You understand? The Most High is letting us know not to be violent, not to act like Esau, because look, in Obadiah, he's going to be dealt with because of the way that he has abhorred his brother Jacob. You understand? So the Most High is telling Israel, Athena, count. So the Most High is telling the Israelites that, hey, do not be like them. It's always funny how, when you read through the Bible, It's always put into different words, or sometimes it's the same exact way, but the Bible repeats itself time and time again. You understand? Do not abhor the Edomite, for that's your brother. Vengeance is not yours, it is mine. You understand? And then right here, it's letting you know, for the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And this is talking to Esau. This is talking to Esau. You understand? This is his punishment for what he has done to us. And of course, when you go into the book of Revelations, you understand, it tells you that we need to separate from these other nations so that we do not take upon their cup. So stay away from trying to take on their ways. You understand? Because when you take on their ways, you taking on those lashings that's coming with it. You taking on those punishments that comes with it. You understand what I'm saying? So let's go back to Deuteronomy 23:7. All right, hey, listen, I'm gonna let you know right now. If you want to continue this back and forth rebuttal, you understand? I'll just go ahead and block you, because that we don't need none of that. All right, this is my last time that I'm responding to you. Let it be done. This is my class. You understand? Either respect my class or get your ass on. All right, simple as that. Go ahead, Trooper.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, and verse number 7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land.
So now we have an understanding of what abhor is, right?
God.
So it's basically just to treat with hatred. The way that, look at how the Egyptians treated us especially during the time of Moses going into that Exodus. You understand? Pharaoh began to, his heart was hardened towards Israel. Now, when you have a hardened heart towards somebody, what are you naturally going to do? You're going to have a hard time feeling compassion for them, right? And so you're going to be harder on them, right? Just like how Esau has absolutely no compassion for any breathing, living thing. And that's why he just kills it until he finds something else to make money off of it, or just, make himself fat off of it. You understand? Right here, it's basically just, to put it simply, don't be like these people. Because, of course, as we read on, we know that they got something coming. So just don't be a part of that, right? Be faultless, be blameless, right?
God.
All right, so you got to understand in that one?
I do. The water.
Most High Christ. You said you had another question, right?
God.
All right, go ahead.
Ezekiel chapter 9, started from the top all the way to 6.
So Ezekiel 9. No, it's further. Ezekiel 9, 1 through 6.
God.
All right, go ahead and read it.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, and verse number 1.
Uh-huh.
He cried also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with the writer's horn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. So right there is that one person, that one man that with the writer's inkhorn, is that Christ?
Is this, you're asking if this is speaking about Christ?
That because it says right here, was every man a slaughter weapon in his hand, and one man among them was clothed with linen, with the writer's inkhorn by his side. So that one man right there, is that talking about Christ?
Okay, I think I remember this. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm gonna text Ezekiel 9:1-6 to me, so I can make sure I get that. I gotta ask that just to clarify. But if I remember correctly, I believe this is actually talking about Michael.
Okay.
It's either I think it's Michael or Gabriel. It's kind of from the cherub.
And the other question to this is this going to be is this a prophecy that happened already, or is it going to happen?
Yeah, this whole one, I'm gonna actually have to read Ezekiel 9 myself, anyways. But I still haven't even gotten there. I'm in the process of going from cover to cover. Hell, I'm just last night I got the Judges 11. So, but no, as far as your question though, I'm gonna take this and get an answer for you. So just make sure that you text it. Like, go ahead and text it to me now. That way, I don't forget. Yeah. So Ezekiel 9:1-6. Should freaking have my damn notepad out here, but okay, I got it. Did you have any more questions?
That's it.
That's it. No, excellent questions, man. Excellent questions. One thing I think I said it before. I'll say it again. Like whenever I'm in class, I do like to show up in classes with questions. I would like to play, the game that I play in my head because I'm childish like that. But I try to play stump the teacher. You know what I'm saying? Where I ask them a question that they don't know, or they're just like, oh man, like at least try to make them like rethink the question. Rethink it before, or like make them rethink it because I asked in a way that they haven't heard before, type ordeal. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, hey, you got a point today. You got 1 point today.
I'll take that.
Most high credit. So, yeah, I gotta for sure take that one up. All right, let me get back to my whatchamacallit, my breakdowns, and then so we just read Malachi 2:6 while we were waiting for the trooper to go get the whatchamacallit. No, yeah, exactly. It's just on Monoboth on it as well. So we're gonna go to the book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 23. Right, and of course, like how I started off the class with that question about the significance of, not significance of the New Testament necessarily, but what is the relevance of the New Testament today? It's the fact that we're still in the New Testament. You understand? And the fact that we're also reading from the things of aforetime for our learning today. You understand? Which means we have to read the Old Testament and the New Testament. Because, of course, we have to understand that the Old Testament is what's going to give us the letter of the law. You understand? And we're also seeing how a lot of the brothers and sisters are living their lives according to the letter of the law. And the New Testament is extremely important for us to see Yahushua's teachings, because then now we get to see, in the Bible, how to, the spirit of the law. You understand? Which is extremely important. And quite frankly, that's, at this point, it's the last missing piece for us to be able to have the kingdom for ourselves, right? So let's go ahead and get that. The book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 23. Hey, you're muted. You're muted.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 23, and verse number 23.
Uh-huh.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted
Cumin. That's cumin.
cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye Salakia. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone.
I can put this up to the doggone TV. I hate the fact that I can barely hear. Okay. Are you able to break that down for me?
Basically, like destruction to the scribes and Pharisees for not keeping the whole law, but only keeping the laws that they feel they should keep.
Right. They're picking and choosing what they what they want to follow and uphold. So of course, because like I said, we're still in the New Testament, and it's saying, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. Give me an example of that happening today. Who is doing something like that today, and where?
The Christian church. They ask for tithes, but they will eat pork right in front of you.
I mean, the fact that they tell you the law is done and over with, but will tell you, hey, pay your tithes, which is what?
A law.
It's a law. It's a commandment. They'll tell you the commandment is, the laws are done and over with, but hey, pay your tithes. But and then of course, just like what you said, they will still and then eat pork right in front of you. So which is it? You're just doing what benefits you. Because you paying your tithes pays his bills. You paying your tithes buys him his G6. Right. You paying your tithes buys him that Gucci suit with the gator boots. You know what I'm saying? That's all of this for you. You understand? But now, Slocky. But of course, what do we know though?
We know that the laws are not done away with, and we must keep the law, statutes, and commandments.
Exactly. Simple as that. We got to keep all the laws that pertain to you. You got to keep them. Now, I said that on purpose. Who can tell me what I mean by all of the laws that pertain to me? What do I mean by that?
Because the law, statutes, and commandments were only given to the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indigenous peoples. So we must keep those laws that pertain to us.
All right, you're right about that. You are right about that, but that's not the correct answer, though. I want you to think about it. Think about the laws that pertain to you. I'm not saying the laws, that pertain to the Israelites versus what pertains to the Ishmaelites or the Ammonites, Moabites, Elamites. You understand? Or the Hamites. We're not worried about all that. I'm saying the laws that pertain to you. We're in captivity. There are some that we can't keep. Okay, the sister's on the right path. It's not about being in captivity, though.
Like some of us deal with certain things that are harder for others to deal with. So those ones that you have to deal with, you need to deal with it.
No, Let's see if Amanabot's going to take another stab at it or not. Go ahead. No. There we go. You can keep our high holy days. No, y'all got to think of it like this. You understand? You keep all the laws that pertain to you. Is there a law that pertains to me? Or is there a law that is for a woman's cleanliness that doesn't pertain to a man's cleanliness? I don't have a flower.
Right.
There's never a time of the year, a time of my life where I have a flower. You understand? So, and of course, there's some people who will never be a merchant. There's some people who will never, be a lender. So, in other words, those laws of being a merchant, of being a farmer, that says that you have to do this with your animal, with your crops, your animals, or that says that you have to do this with your merchandise. Those laws don't pertain to you. The law of usury. I mean, the only time that usury would apply to you is if, your brother says, hey man, can I borrow 5, 10, 20 bucks, whatever it is? And then you're like, okay, well, if you don't pay me next week, then, that's 15%. That's 5% or, whatever. But I mean, who really does that anyways? Unless unless you are a legit shark, right? Nah, man, that's what a lender does. So the laws of a lender, it don't pertain to you. You understand? But of course, if that's what that is a career path of which you choose to take upon, then of course you got to get yourself familiar with those said laws. Does that make sense?
Cool.
All right, Most High Christ. Let's go ahead and drop that. Go to the book of Luke, chapter 16 and verse 17.
The book of Luke, chapter 16, and verse number 17. And it is easier for heaven and earth to pass.
Hold on. Start over, man. I don't think you said that right. Go ahead.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 17.
Uh-huh.
And it is easier.
It is easier for what?
For heaven and earth to pass.
Then what?
Than one tittle of the law to fail.
Dude, do you understand what you just read? Do you understand them words that you just uttered out of your mouth that Yahweh just said? Please elaborate.
It's easier for heaven and earth to just no longer be here than for you to pass from the smallest law.
It's easier for heaven and earth to pass, which is going to happen first and foremost. Heaven and earth will pass, but what will never fail is the law. So it doesn't matter how many times heaven and earth, passes. Of course, we just know of, the one that is to come. So then that way, Yahweh can take his throne here on earth and rule over with an iron fist for the rest of time. You understand? But it's that whole process of heaven and earth passing, because we know that something has to happen for that to happen in the first place. Do you know what that is?
Christ's return.
Okay, but before that,
World War III.
Okay, that's a part of it.
Are people waking up?
It's a part of it as well. It's 2 words. Or you can use it in 3 if you want to be fancy.
keep the commandments.
Fulfillment of prophecies.
God.
Once all the prophecies are fulfilled, well, guess what part of that prophecy? Like you said, are people waking up? World War III, Christ returning. You know, the scripture let us know that every time the Christian church opens their mouth, they are lying. Now, you right, sis. You are right about that. For sure, for sure. For sure, for sure. That is an excellent point. An excellent point. You understand? Because mind you, who's saying this? What color is this written in?
Red.
It's written in red. So what does that mean? What's that mean? I'm a dumbass Christian. I don't know nothing. I'm sorry. I'm a dumb Christian who knows everything, but in reality don't know a goddamn thing. So what does that mean that this is written in red?
When it's written in red, that means Christ is talking.
Damn, that's crazy. Because here I've been saying as a dumbass Christian that I love Christ so much and have the best relationship with him, but apparently I don't know anything he goddamn says.
Right.
You understand? Whereas, read that again from the top.
Come on. It's the book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 17.
Uh-huh.
And it is easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law to fail.
So there's not going to be a single law written that will fail. Look up the word tittle. Just in case we actually do have a real life dumbass Christian in the classroom. Let's help them get that understanding of what a tittle is. Maybe they'll say, well, I don't know what a tittle is, so now you're still wrong. Because they're gonna argue. Nobody argues harder and more efficiently than the ignorant and the stupid. And quite frankly, that's the definition of a Christian. Salaki. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
How did that happen?
There you
go. Tittle, a tiny amount or a part of something.
Man, so that one tiny amount or part of the law to fail. So in other words, the entire law will be upheld. The entire law will remain. The entire law will always endure on the earth forever. According to who again?
According to Christ.
So now I must ask one more time. It's like not one more time, but I must ask y'all, who can tell me the title of this goddamn class and the significance of it?
That the law will never be done away.
So the title is the importance of the law. The significance of that title is the fact that the law will never be done away with. The law will always endure. You understand? And quite frankly, because even Yahushua, has spoken about how the law will endure forever. King David, King Solomon has spoken about how the law will endure forever. You understand? It will never go away, just like what Amanabad just said. And mind you, hey, this is also according to every black woman who is in the Christian church, according to y'all's husband. Now, all of y'all share, because y'all married to Jesus Christ, right? Your husband said this. I mean, apparently that's the only man that you'll ever listen to is Christ himself. So now you can shut the hell up, put some goddamn clothes on, quit twerking every slab of concrete that you step on, and get yourself into the ISUPK and learn under these priests and prophets of the Lord so you can actually learn something, especially how to be the goddamn princess that you're supposed to be. You understand? Right? So, I mean, hey, man, this is from Yahushua himself. I think at this point, I mean, hey, we can cut the class. I mean, what I still got 35 minutes. I got all these other scriptures to go. I mean, Christ just cut all of y'all. It's done, wrapped up. You're out. You understand? What we're gonna read on? Drop that and go to verse 31.
Verse 31. And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead.
You understand? Who is the one that rose from the dead that Yahweh is referring to?
Himself.
Himself. Shalom. You understand? Shalom. These Sadducees and Pharisees want to sit here and talk about, oh, but Moses said this in the law, in the written law. Moses said that. Moses said this. We're supposed to do this. We're supposed to do that. And y'all ass still don't follow it. You only want to reference Moses because at the moment, you want to do away with me. It'll benefit you to, get me off of the scene. Right? Hey, put this in that drawer. Why is this out? Put that in that drawer. You understand? You only want to bring up Moses because right now it just benefits your argument. But I was trying to let you know, man. Why are you even gonna bring up Moses in the first place? Because just like y'all want to even listen to him at his time today and also today, you ain't even gonna listen to the one who was risen from the dead. Who are you going to listen to? Who are you truly going to listen to? You understand? That's the question right there. Go ahead and drop that. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 7, verse 9. John 7 and 19. Book of John, chapter 7 and verse 19.
It's the book of John, chapter 7 and verse number 19.
Uh-huh.
Did not Moses give you the law? And yet none of you keepeth the law? Why go ye about to kill me?
Y'all hear what Christ is asking right here? Y'all understand what Christ is asking? It is basically what we just went over in just the last precept that I pulled out. You understand? Y'all won't even listen to Moses, but you want to quote Moses. You understand? And the crazy thing is, that is the most Christian thing that anybody can do. Is somebody, because Christians love they will sit there and quote the Bible left and right. Oh, you got to turn the other cheek. You got to do this. You got to do that. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. But as soon as that big ass hat comes off their head, as soon as Pastor Porkchop ain't looking, they selling drugs, they doing drugs, they on the goddamn stripper pole, they buying the strippers on the pole. You understand? And the list goes on and on and on. Cattle. You understand? Y'all won't even listen to Moses. You worried about what Moses said, but you ain't even gonna listen to him. And so, but why you want to kill me? Why is Christ asking that? Why is Christ asking that? Why go ye about to kill me? Why do you think he's asking that? And of course, stay right here with this verse.
Because he was speaking truth, and they couldn't.
Say one more time.
He was speaking truth, and people don't like truth.
Okay, like you're kind of you on the sidewalk of the ballpark. Sister said they wanted to kill him because he told them about themselves. I mean, yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But there's something more, like there's something more in specific that, I mean, hell, everybody is looking over.
He was teaching the law.
Okay, he was teaching the law. Now you in the ballpark. You done bought your ticket, waited in line, bought your ticket. You got field access. You in the ballpark. But bring me home.
He was teaching the importance of the law.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I appreciate that answer right there. I ain't gonna front. But no, you're wrong. And didn't the law tell them not to murder? It's and there's another okay. Now it says, let's deal with the question that I already presented, not the question I haven't asked yet. So that's already been answered. The why. But just think about what we just talked about. And even you, sis, you in the ballpark with that answer as well. You still in the ballpark with that.
He was showing how the Old Testament and the New Testament are exactly the same.
How is Christ showing the New Testament was the same as the Old Testament when the New Testament hadn't been written yet?
Well, what I'm saying is like he's showing like how like the law isn't done away with because he's bringing up Moses.
Okay. So how is he showing that the law isn't done away with though? Go ahead, look at that.
I don't know.
I'm gonna give Amana about another stab at it. So I know she's got it. I know she over. I can feel her thinking through the comments where she looking through her notes and she's like, "Bro, I got it, but I can't say it." You know what? I'm gonna take that answer right there. She said, "I didn't give you the law. Moses did." So, in the words of what I wanted y'all to say, he was acting out the law of Moses. He was keeping the law of Moses, showing you how to keep the law of Moses. But yet, like what the sister said, didn't the law tell them not to murder? So you won't even listen to what did it say again? Did not Moses give you the law, and yet none of you keepeth the law? Why go ye about to kill me? You so worried about keeping the goddamn law, but you trying to kill me now. You want to kill me now. Doesn't that go against what I just said in the first part? You don't even want to keep the law. You understand? You do not want to keep the law. You want to do what you want to do. So like my son practicing his can't speakings on the corner, man, while I'm teaching class of all times. It's a lock of you. He's trying to argue with me while I'm teaching class. But y'all understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
And of course, and this right here, y'all got to make sure, you young men, you troopers, you are, for those of y'all that don't have these in your notes and you want to prepare to go to war with these Christians, right? Make sure that you got these, in your notes and study these. You understand? Make sure that you got them memorized, because you know what? When you deal with a doggone Christian who wants to try to tell you that the law is done and over with, I mean, this right here is a prime example right here. Did not Moses give you the law, and yet none of you keepeth the law? But yet you want to kill me. You understand? You never even follow Moses, the way of Moses. Now, of course, we can go back to what Christ said about, you understand, it's easier for heaven and earth to pass before the law even fails. You understand? Y'all are just wicked bastards who don't want to follow the law. That's all it comes down to. You understand? You want to find any and every way to offend that written law that Moses had written, because you don't care about what he did. You don't care about what he what's the word? Oh, what is the doggone word? Recorded. Damn. What he recorded for our sake, what he had written down for our sakes, for us to learn from. You understand? Because you don't care about what is written down, because you don't care about the Most High God. You just care about YOLO. You understand? You just care about the next whore that you can lay with, or the next rainbow boy that you can lay down with. That's what you are worried about. You understand? You worried about, that $5,000 that you can make off of that pack that you were about to sell tonight, that you're probably gonna get shot over. You understand? And if you survive that, you don't get shot and killed out of that. You're probably gonna blow it all away on something stupid in the next 24 hours, anyways. So now you're right back into that cycle of trapping. You get what I'm saying? Man, you just want to live wickedly. They only care about the traditions of men. Not exactly, sis. That's exactly it. You only care about your own traditions. You only care about pleasing a woman because that's what grandma taught you. And you don't know any other way. And grandma wants you to stop selling drugs, but don't stop selling drugs because you joined the cult, though. I'd rather you leave the cult and continue selling drugs. But you get what I'm saying? Like, wow. Man, so like this is how you know that the truth is only here in the ISUPK under Commander John Yohana. You understand? Drop that. Go to the book of John, chapter 9 and verse 31.
The book of John, chapter 9 and verse number 31.
Yep.
Now we know that God heareth not sinners.
Well, he don't hear who?
Sinners.
Man, isn't that crazy how Christians are real quick to say, oh, well, we all sinners. Now let's gather together, bow our heads, and let us pray. For what? To talk to yourself? Because right here, the scripture says that God don't hear you. He don't hear you. He's not listening to you. So what are we doing? Is this group therapy? Go ahead and read on.
But if any man be a worshiper of God and doeth his will, him he heareth.
Trooper, what is the will of the Most High?
Keep fearing him and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
That sounded pretty simple. I don't see that in the Christian church, where what was his name? That goofball that was in the class that thought that he could come in here and because he had a PhD in being a retard. You know what I'm saying? Thought he could come in here and try to teach my class. You understand? He thinks, goddamn it, that he's doing the will of God. You understand? He thinks that God hears his prayers. Like, bro, you if you're not in the ISUPK, gathering yourselves together, O nation, not desired, obvious, and mind you, under the banner of King David, hence why we wear this Magan Dawada. You understand? If you're not under this banner, are you really worshiping the Most High God? Stop. Get from under there, boy. You understand what I'm saying? What are you really praying? Who are you talking to? You know what it is? I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. Now, mind you, I wasn't like a Christian. I probably went to a Christian church. I can count on 3 fingers. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you why. They sit there and gather together in group therapy prayer to pray to somebody that's not even going to listen to them. And you know what? I actually think they know that. They are aware of that. You understand? But their schizophrenic white Jesus, he prayed to himself and said, if this is not your will, or I want you to take away this cup, but if it is not your will, then I'll go through with it. You know what I'm referring to?
When Christ was talking to about his
the night before he was murdered. That's why Christians are following after that example of the white schizophrenic that they believe sat there and prayed to himself and said, "Oh Lord, remove this cup from me. But if it's your will, I'll go through with it then." Boy, y'all seen that movie Split? Oh no, it's not Split. Damn, what is that movie where that white boy was like, he was like 7, he had like 17 different personalities. Oh yeah, no, it is Split. I ain't gonna front. That dude played a hell of a, he did a hell of a job playing as that character, where he's like, he got a personality where, you know, his name is like Patricia, and it's like this priestess type woman. She's super uppity and whatnot. And then he's also got like the part of him that's still a child, where he's like forever 8 years old or something like that, and completely just switches, you know, because he had multiple personality disorder. And there's like, I think he had like 23 or 24 personalities or something like that. That's Christ. That's the white Jesus. That's what white Jesus is. Sitting there, well, you know what? If you don't want to do, God damn it. George, I guess I'll do it. You wanted it, you got it. Like, man, you understand? So like in the books he was talking about is a book about the book, not the actual inspired word of the Most High. Exactly, it says, and that's what I was trying to explain to him, even when we was talking about, you know, the book of Jubilee, on why we don't even, you know, we don't even touch it ourselves. But like, there's a reason why I went on with the history, you know, the history books, but he couldn't understand. He couldn't even understand that. He wasn't playing. Let's debate live. You know, you already have shown yourself not to be qualified, man. You understand? You're not even qualified. You still need to sit in class. You understand what I'm saying? And you have the audacity to say that somebody is emotional, but there's nothing more emotional than somebody getting blocked so that a class can be taught, but you go around to log into a whole nother account to have the last word. Damn. The last word is that important to you, huh? No sweat. You're not even qualified, bro. Where were we at? John 9:31. Read that again from the top.
It's the book of John, chapter 9, verse 31. Mm-hmm. Now we know that God heareth not sinners. Mm-hmm. But if any man be a worshiper of God and doeth his will, him he heareth.
You understand? Simple as that. And listen, bro, Christ lives with you. Jamal Madison, listen, man. You really try to sit here in the chat to try to sound like, you know, you actually know what you're talking about, bro. I guarantee you, man. I guarantee you, bro. Your prayers is not being listened to because you are still a sinner, bro. You are a sinner. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you are willing to actually repent and change. But the only place that you can actually do that is here in the ISUPK. So if you can find it in your heart to humble yourself and sit in these classes, which it seems like you got a real issue with pride, which that in itself lets me know that you're not qualified because you got a real issue with pride. You said anger. I see it as pride. You understand? If you could get past that, bro, you know what? Maybe we can actually have a sit down and debate so that you can, because you'll actually learn something. You'll actually be somebody qualified to, actually go back and forth with. You understand? I am praying for you because Christ loves you still. Let me ask you one question. Do you think that Christ died for everybody? That Christ loves everybody? And what I mean by I mean like everybody on the face of the earth. While we wait for him to answer that, go ahead and drop that out and go to the book of Romans chapter 2 and verse 12. The book of Romans 2 and 12. Nah, it says go, just ignore him. Just ignore him.
The book of Romans, chapter 2, and verse number 12. For as many have sinned without law, for as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law.
Uh-huh.
And as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law.
Okay. So lock it. So I want you to tell me what you just read right there. What does that mean? And break it down to me line by line. Right now, I'm sitting in a hot seat as Jamal with no understanding. And I need you to teach me.
For all those that die, all those
It's
that
like,
died,
go ahead.
all those that died without knowing the law,
So get him out of here. Yes.
all those that sinned and didn't know the law, they're gonna perish. They're gonna die without knowing the law. But if you knew the law and you died, you're gonna be judged by the law.
Okay. I want you to read the next verse.
Verse 13. For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified.
Okay. For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law be justified. You understand? So right here in verse 12, it should kind of give you a little bit more context, a little hint of what that first line is saying.
So all those that who knew about the law but still didn't want to keep the law, they're gonna die without.
Say that again.
All those who knew about the law but just didn't want to keep the law, they're gonna get their judgment.
No, not this. This isn't talking about those who knew the law and then ignored it. That's not talking about that. This is talking about those who didn't know the law and then still and perished in the law as well. So, in other words, this is saying that no matter what, you're gonna get a punishment. There's no way around it. You're going to be dealt with whether you knew the law or you didn't know the law. But of course, we also know. Let me see if is it right here that actually says it. No, I gotta look up and see where where it references that for someone who ignorantly offends the law, they'll get few lashes in comparison to somebody who gets many lashings. So I said lashes. You understand?
God.
Brother, I'm not going there. Stay blessed. I'm not even going to bother to read what you have to say. I mean, you trying to pull out new international version, and you're too afraid to answer whether or not Christ loved everybody. So not only do you sound like a Christian, but you also sound like a coward. So you're not qualified to debate. You can't even answer a simple question. Why would I debate you when you can't answer a simple question? You're not qualified. Shalom. Back to my class, because we're done with that now. For as many have sinned, read that again.
God. Says, for as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law. And as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law.
You understand? You're going to perish. Your crimes are going to fit also your knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? Read verse 13 again.
Verse 13. For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified.
You understand? And of course, your only real justification, of the law is you actually keeping the law in the first place. You understand? And like what we had talked about, was it last week's class or the week before? How I had went over, it's our, not only our priestly duty, but a brother's duty to see to it that his brother knows the law, that he does, according to his knowledge, he lets his brother know, hey man, like what you're doing right here offends the Most High God. Now it's, you understand, basically washing your hands of, that brother or sister, of their ignorance. You get what I'm saying? And then of course, like that's how this applies as well. Does that make sense?
God.
Most High Christ. So the Most High won't lay no.
Was that precept you was talking about? Was that Luke 12 and 47?
Read it for me.
This is Luke chapter 12, verse 47.
Mm-hmm.
And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes.
Mm-hmm.
But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whosoever much is more given, of him shall be much more required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more.
So you understand that? You see how that makes sense?
God.
You understand? All right, Most High Christ. Let's go ahead and drop that. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 3, and verse 31.
The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yeah, we establish the law.
Break that down. Either break it down in your own words or give me a precept.
So it's asking a question: do we just forget about the law because we have faith? And it's saying, God is saying, no, we have to keep the law.
Okay. Do you know what like void means?
Like empty?
Okay, yeah. So empty, pointless, you take away, right? Do we make that? Does the law become empty through faith? Then he says, God forbid. And then follows with, yea, we establish the law. So What is he saying right here? What did he actually say right here?
Basically saying we don't just look at the law like it's not nothing. We keep the law.
Okay, yeah, man. I'm trying to think of how I can ask without giving you the answer. You know what? Screw it. Just for time's sake, pull for me. Faith without works is dead.
God.
That's a good point. He is addressing that stupidity that Christians do say that this is how Christians live when they say they can sin because they have grace. But of course, right here, Paul is challenging that. You clearly don't even know what that means, because in no way does that apply for you. I mean, unless this is your way of screaming out that, hey, you want me to, leave my flock to go and get you. I understand that, but you know what? I've actually been trying to tell you to come into class. So technically, I have done that. You understand? But you clearly don't know what that scripture you just posted. You don't know what that means. Y'all better run. These teachings lead to bondage. So, oh man, that's funny. All right, we're done with you. You got that scripture for me?
God. It's the book of James, chapter 2, and verse number 26.
Uh-huh.
For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.
You understand? So now do you understand what he's saying right here in Romans 3 and 31?
God. Can't just have
You
faith.
understand? Go ahead.
Can't just have faith, but you gotta have works with it.
Exactly. That's what he's saying. You understand? Like you were there, but I wanted you to fully bring, make that full connection. You understand? Hey man, how many times you gonna say shalom and that you gonna leave, bro? Like just go ahead. You sound worse than an emotional woman. I don't even have these issues with my rib, bro. When we say, you know what, I just need a minute, we go ahead and go take that minute. Like, god damn, dude. Like, man, I almost want to refer to you as a counselor because she can actually teach you something. But that's not how we do things. We're not Christian like you. You understand? Just go. Shalom. Go ahead. You ridiculous. Get out of my classroom. But so do you understand that connection though with what I was saying on why on how I wanted you to say, because you weren't wrong with how you broke it down, but I wanted you to get that, you know what I'm saying, that full understanding with James.
God.
Right? Okay, most high in Christ. So like you said, he is a real Christian. Sis, I mean, it's a priest and prophet of the Lord's job to be able to identify it. Of course, I knew that. Of course. Let's get a couple more before we wrap this up. I know I started a little bit late, but I'm not gonna keep y'all too long. Let's go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 3. The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and 3. This man said, "He gonna look me up." Why would I look you up?
Oh, let's go. The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 3. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becometh saints.
It's like read that again from the top. It's like it took me a minute to get there.
Ephesians chapter 5 verse 3.
Uh-huh.
But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be Salakia, let it not be once named among you as becometh saints.
So what is it saying right here?
Basically, be blameless.
Okay, hey, you know what? I'll take that. That's an excellent answer. But okay, so do not it's like be blameless. And while what though? And I want you to use what's in this verse. So be blameless while what?
While becoming a saint.
While becoming a saint. Why do you think that was so important? Why do you think it was important for you to acknowledge while you become a saint?
Because you're gonna, as you grow in this truth, you want to just make you're becoming a new creature, so you want to make sure you're blameless.
Okay, you're right about that as far as the being blameless part. But my question is more so in particular, why I wanted you to use the word saint and not just say be blameless as you shed yourself in the world, or be blameless as you become an officer, a priest and prophet. Why is it in why do you think in particular I wanted you to use that word saint? And you are 100% right about that, sis.
I don't know.
No sweat. You know, it's like look at the Christians and especially the Catholics, how they have, they acknowledge all, the Virgin Saint Mary, Saint, they got a saint for everything, Saint Guadalupe and Saint this and Saint that, right? When I mean, what did they really do? You understand? Within that religion, because mind you, Saint Guadalupe, she was, I believe she was a Spaniard. She wasn't even Mexican. She wasn't even a Latina. She was a Spaniard. So for one, what do we know about that? She can't be a saint because the law is not for her. Nor is the fact that they would actually, follow the law in the first place. You understand? They're too quick to, your question earlier in Deuteronomy 23:7. They are very quick to abhor somebody just because. I mean, they screwed themselves. You don't even have to do anything. They'll screw themselves and abhor you. Right? All of these saints are named, these Catholic saints are named as saints when they really didn't do anything. They have a great story with morality and this, that, and the other. Okay, yeah, sure. But I mean, does this say that they're a saint? Did they become blameless in the law? Why don't we all know about them? You understand? You stepping away from the Bible. That's a way to get you to step away from the Bible, because you'll hear these Catholics will give you this great story about how somebody was so selfless. Because I'm not familiar with Catholicism, but they were so selfless and they starved themselves for 30 days and but yet they were time and time again being given food, but during those 30 days they were giving it to the poor and the needy. And so that's how Saint Whoopty Whoopty Whoop became Saint blah blah blah. You get what I'm saying? They give you this whole spaz, but it was important for you to bring this out that like you said, you could become a new creature. It's important. You could become a new creature when you shed yourself, become a saint, when you rid yourself of fornication, all uncleanness, covetousness. You understand? Let it, you become blameless when you become a new creature, thus becoming a saint. What is it saying in a nutshell? That you're doing what?
It froze. So you say the question again?
Oh, what is it saying that you did in a nutshell? When you become that new creature, when you become a saint, what does it say? What is it saying in a nutshell? Because in the very beginning it says, "But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you." So you said earlier that you become blameless. You're right. But in a nutshell, when you become a saint, all of it is because of what? You like that? You like that, sis? Oh, where's my phone? I promise you, it's a lot simpler than what you think. Don't overthink it. Just think about it. Fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness. You became a saint for what reason? Not because there's some help, some good story where you gave back to the community. And of course, it's important for us to give back to the community, to take care of our brothers and sisters. But for you to be a saint requires more than just passing out clothes, more than just passing out food, more than the Catholic churches to recognize you. What is it that makes you a saint to begin with? You said to be blameless, okay? Bring me home now. Lay it down flat. Keep it simple. Those first three things that get named, that gets named, should tell you. There you go. The sister got it right there. You must keep the law, statutes, and commandments right there. That's what makes you a saint. You keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Being a saint is someone who is righteous, someone who is, as you said, who is blameless. You understand? I wanted you to go back. You understand? And make sure you was paying attention. Make sure that you know what I'm saying, that you got it, that you understood it, right? Let's go to. We're gonna end it on 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 7. We'll get this last one, and then we'll finish the rest of this breakdown. Man, it's crazy. I really got a fan today. Woo! To be a saint is to fear God. To fear God is the beginning of understanding Proverbs. To fear God, you keep his laws because our hearts are not tablets. Man, it's crazy. I got a super fan. He is eager to teach. He is eager to teach. But the sad part is he's unwilling to learn. So therefore, he will never teach. Simple as that. Go ahead and read that First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 7.
It's the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse number 7. For God had not called us unto uncleanness, but unto holiness.
So he put it in lame terms what he means by holiness, because we still got Jamal in the class.
To be separate.
He needs a simple breakdown. What is unholiness, or it's like what is holiness?
Holiness is to be separate from, set apart.
Right. To be separate. Simple as that. And sis, you are exactly right. I got to put that on the screen right there. Because our biggest fan is right back. Hey, Lord, allow you to come back into class next week, man. Because I know you learned something this week, whether you want to accept it or not. I know you did. You understand? And I'm proud of you for staying in the class the whole time. But hey, Lord, allow that you actually pay attention so that you can actually learn something instead of trying to, go back and forth. All right. But of course, because this is a classroom, I wasn't going to do that with you. And nobody else is going to come in my class and try to take it over. You understand? But hey, if you want to actually do a legitimate debate, which I do not think that you are qualified for, you can reach out to Shabal Yahawada. That is my camp leader out here in Las Vegas. You understand? You can speak to that, brother, and hey, you get that set up. So I'm not going to take the time to, research a nobody. I've never even heard of you. You understand? We pretty familiar with a lot of people who actually debate, but I mean, man, I don't even know who you are. You understand? But hey, like I said, you talk to Officer 5000 Shabal, our camp leader out here in Las Vegas. Because I mean, obviously you can't help but to get the last word in. So if the debate is that important for you, then maybe, just maybe, you can actually learn something. Go ahead and reach out. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna read the ISUPK security announcements. ISUPK security announcements. We're the ISUPK started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister: when a new brother comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You understand? Pay the tithes. Find that in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and also the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Ma'asharah, which means 10th in the Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. There's a priest fund. It's a free will offering to the priest. It is not mandatory. It could be whatsoever amount you would like. Get in touch with your respective camp leaders to find out any more details on upcoming holy convocations. I will say, though, June 15th, we will be out in, I believe, Hollywood, California. I can't remember the exact location where we're going to be, but we're going to, assist the brothers out there in California with camp. You understand? If you're able to, if you are available, it would be good for you to attend that and, be there. All right. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, men of Israel, I Maizum, which means to stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, I Maizum, Shabbat, I Maizum, Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Brakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Brakatah. And to the sisters, Yadamata, hands down. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. I Maizum, for the one that's in here. Men of Israel, I Maizum, Shabbat. I Maizum, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Elathah Ba'Hashem Yahushai. And with Yahweh B'tah, with that, class dismissed.